Hello, and welcome to the news program. We have a breaking story to share with you. I'm Bruce, from the Movie Talk Show. Joining us today are Vincent, Denise, Skippy Bandersnatch, and Walter Badcrumble. So Vince, what's the latest?
Thanks, Bruce. Rodney King was found dead in a swimming pool earlier today. He was just 47 years old.
Has the cause of death been determined?
That's a negative, though he was retrieved from the bottom of the pool so that could help determine the cause. No foul play was reported, and no signs of injury.
Thanks, Skippy. Hey Walt, for those of us who aren't familiar with King, can you give us a brief backstory about his infamous incident?
Sure thing. Back in 1991, Rodney King was severely beaten by 4 white LAPD officers. The horrific incident was caught on camera. King was 25 and on parole. In some recent statements, King said that when he saw a police car following him at night, he panicked, fearing that he would be sent back to prison. Here's Vince with more.
After a high-speed car chase, Rodney realized that he could not outrun the police, so he stopped in an area surrounded by apartments, a public place, in case things got bad. The police proceeded to strike King about 50 times with their wooden batons, and used a stun gun on him. He was beaten nearly to death, and required 3 surgeons to operate on high.
King spent about 5 hours in the operating room. What a mess. So Denise, tell us about the trial that followed.
The 4 officers were indicted on charges of assault with a deadly weapon, and excessive use of force by a police officer.
3 of the officers were acquitted of the charges, and the other was deadlocked with the excessive force charge, but a mistrial was declared.
This caused massive rioting through the streets of LA, and resulted in 50 deaths, and about $1 billion in property damage.
But on the 3rd day of rioting, King emerged from seclusion, and said, "People, I just want to say, can't we all get along, can't we get along," which made an impact.
About a year later, 2 of the officers were found guilty and sentenced to 30 months in prison. After a federal court trial on civil rights charges, the other 2 were acquitted.
King was awarded $3.8 million in damages, but had some more run-ins with the law in the years following this incident.
King was open about his alcohol addiction and tried his best to keep everything under control. He appeared on the VH1 show, Celebrity Rehab, and wrote a memoir.
On a positive note, earlier this year, King said that he has forgiven the officers for what they did, and appreciates living in this country.
King's wife, Cynthia Kelly, who served as a juror during his lawsuit against L.A. back in 1994, made the 911 call, and he was pronounced dead at a local hospital.
Thank you all for the details. Rest in peace, Rodney King. Now you are free.
Thanks for joining us. Check out more about Rodney King by purchasing his memoir, or simply research some info using Google.
Subscribe for new videos, and leave some feedback in the comments below. Rodney King, April 2, 1965 to June 17, 2012.